What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be taking you through a weighted glute specific workout. I see a lot of ladies that have really well developed legs but have soft flat glutes. This is generally what we call sleepy butt syndrome, which is basically when the glutes are inactive, usually due to a lot of sitting down, and they're never really targeted and isolated in the gym. Our glutes are the strongest, most powerful muscles in our body, and quite often when we do variations of squats and lunges, our hamstrings and our quads take over well before the glutes start to get fatigued, and therefore we never really challenge them enough to stimulate that growth that we want. Today I'm going to show you 8 glute specific movements that are really going to isolate and fire up those glutes and have minimal effect on your leg growth. We are going to be using a combination of decent weight and resistance bands, and that's going to make sure that we're going to target all 3 of the muscles of the glute. So we've got the glute maximus, the minimus, and the medius. We want to make sure that we're building all of them to create that nice full round shape. The banded work is also really going to help that mind to muscle connection. It's so important to be able to feel the muscle that you want to work, and the band is going to add that extra little bit of resistance, and it's going to activate those muscles straight away. I do have another video on how to build the glutes, and in that workout I only use a resistance band. So if you're still not able to get to a gym and you have some limited equipment, then I'm going to link that video in the description box below. I also go into what you should be eating to build the glutes, and I've got all kinds of top tips in that video. So yeah, I will link it in the description box below. Go and check that one out after you've seen this one. So if you're ready to learn how to build your butt once and for all, then stick around, we're going to get started now. So there are different variations of the hip thrust that you can do, but working out with a barbell, it's really easy to start adding weight. If you're still lifting the same weight as you were 6 months ago and doing the same reps, then that's possibly one reason why your glutes aren't growing. So you do want to make sure that you are being able to add more weight as you progress. So you're going to sit down here. You're going to put the band on just above your knee, and you're going to press out against the band. Okay, make sure you've got one of these barbell pads, or you can put a rolled up mat or something just to protect your hips. And then you want to make sure that you bring your feet in fairly close to your glutes. If they're too far away, then you're going to use the hamstrings more than the glutes. So when you're at the top of your hip thrust, you want to make sure that your shin is straight. Okay, so line yourself up here. Your shoulders are going to go on the edge of the bench. And then again, you're going to push the knees out, and you're going to see that I'm going to push through the heels. Also, I'm going to keep my chin tucked, so I'm not going to put my head back like that. If I put my head back, then it's easy for me to overextend and to start using my lower back. So we only want to focus on the glutes, so I'm going to keep my chin tucked that way. So double chins for the win. We don't care what we look like. So take the weight onto your hips, and you're pushing through the heels, and here I'm going to squeeze as hard as I can. All the way down, up, and squeeze. So make sure you're holding it for a good second at the top, and you're going to really be able to feel that burn in the glutes. This movement really is the king of all glute movements. It really focuses on building mass in the main muscle of the glute, the gluteus maximus. We're going to superset the glute thrusts with just the band, and this is going to really allow you to push out against the band to recruit the minimus and the medius muscles, and it's really going to burn out all of the glute. So now we're going to do an elevated sumo squat. And the reason that we're going to elevate is because I want to get a good range of movement. So if I was just on the floor, then the kettlebell would hit the floor before I reached my maximum depth. So I'm going to elevate just so I can get a little bit deeper. So So with the sumo squat, make sure that your legs are wider than shoulder width apart, your toes face out, and then don't forget that your knees are going to track over the same path as the toe, okay? So pick up your weight, you want to make sure that you're keeping your back straight, just reset here, shoulders back, and again you're going to go slowly down. At the bottom, push open the knees, power up and squeeze. So nice and controlled on the way down, knees open, push up, squeeze at the top. You're going to feel this movement in muscles that you never even realized existed. There is nothing that targets the muscles in the same way as this movement. Also, you're really going to see a difference in your mobility if you practice this movement enough. So the next movement is called fire hydrants, and this one is going to target that side glute again and your abductors. So all you need is a band for this one and a mat, and we're going to get on all fours. So it's a little bit similar to a dog peeing. I think that's why it's called fire hydrants. So make sure you've got a leg in each corner, and then you're just going to move your knee away from your body. And then again, you're going to make sure that you pause at the top to really get that burn on that outer glute. It can take a little bit for us to get used to this movement. It's quite unnatural for us as human beings to abduct the leg away from the side, but it is well worth it if you can keep it going. It's really going to stimulate those smaller muscles, the minimus and medius, going to create that round look to your butt. Okay, so now we're going to do an RDL, a Romanian deadlift. So again, we're going to use some pretty heavy weight, but we're also going to use the band. And with this variation, I want you to think about turning the toes out a little bit. And remember, if your toes are turned out, then your knees also have to travel in the same direction as your toe. So what that's going to do is when we come up and squeeze at the top, you're really going to feel it in those side glute muscles. So set yourself up properly. Pick it up, pick the weight up in a squat, come up to standing. So toes out, knees out a little bit, shoulders back, hip hinge movement. Now look how close I'm keeping the weight to my leg. I'm not letting it drift out like that. That would hurt your back. So super close, almost by the side of your legs. Come up, and then you're going to squeeze your butt really hard at the top, really squeeze. Nice and slowly on the way down, power up, squeeze at the top. This is one of my all-time favorite glute movements. I do this on most glute days, and it really is the best movement to target the underbutt. So where your glutes and hamstrings meet, that's called the hammy tie-in, and this is perfect to target that area. So the next one that we're going to be doing is called a glute extension. So most gyms have got some kind of machine like this one, and it's called a back extension machine, but we're not going to use it for back extensions. We're not going to be working the lower back. We're going to be working specifically on the glutes. So it is a slightly different movement, and basically you're going to see that I'm really going to round my back, and the movement is much smaller than with a back extension. So how we use this one, you're going to hook your feet in at the bottom. I'm going to turn my toes out again, like I said earlier, turn them out, and then I'm going to use a 40-pound ball here, and it's going to help me to round my back like this. I'm just going to roll this up, I'm going to hold it here, I'm going to round my back, and then I'm just going to pick myself up with my glutes. So I'm just going to go to here, that's as far as I can go if I'm just using my glutes, all the way down, squeeze at the top, down, up, squeeze. So you might feel this in your hamstrings a little bit as well, and that is fine, but just realize the more that you turn your toes out, the more that you're going to feel it in your glute. If you feel it at all in your lower back, then you've not quite got the hang of it. You shouldn't feel it at all in the lower back. Okay, next we're going to be using the cable machine. So you want the cable on the lowest setting, and then you want a pair of these ankle straps. If your gym hasn't got any of these, then you can get some from Amazon. Guard them with your life, don't let them go anywhere. So hook yourself up to the cable machine, and then we're just going to do a straight kickback. So your non-working leg, this one, stays nice and close here. Hold on, and then you're going to lean back so all the weight is in your hip, in the back of your leg here. And then my left is my working leg. I'm going to kick it back. I'm going to pause at the top, bring it in, pause at the top. So a nice energetic kick back. Again, you're going to really feel it in the center of those glutes, but you mustn't rush through the movement. You must control the weight all of the time. When you perform this movement, just be very aware of what your body is doing, your torso. You don't want to be rocking at all. You really want to make sure that you're isolating the movement to the hip and leg only. So we're going to superset that movement with lateral kicks. So we're going to stay with the cable. You want to hook up your outside leg, and then either you can hold on with one hand, but make sure that you're keeping your body nice and straight, or for a bit more stability, you can hold on with both hands. But either way, we don't want to be twisting the body as we kick the leg out. So get yourself nice and stable, and then you're going to kick laterally out like so. Again, you want to try and pause at the top and control the weight on the way down. So no rushing through this movement. This movement is surprisingly tough. You'll probably only need very light weight. And again, it's because this movement is so alien to us, to be abducting the hip away from our body. It's not a very natural movement for us, but it's going to target those little small muscles again, the medius and the minimus, to get that round look. So highly recommend. Well, that's it, guys. That's my top 8 glute specific exercises that are really going to help shape, tone, build your butt just the way you want it. If you have any questions, guys, then please comment below. I have an awesome community going on in the comments, so if you comment, I promise I will respond. If you have any ideas for future videos, then please also comment down below. Other than that, guys, that is it from me. If you liked the video, then please like the video. If you want to see more, then if you haven't already, subscribe. And if you don't want to miss my next video, then make sure you hit that notification bell. Until next time, guys, thanks so much for watching. Mwah!